Hey everybody, it's Monday. David Gordon here with TheaterMania and Beth Leavel.
Hi, happy Monday. Did you
Monday,
say
I think it's Monday.
Monday? Thank you.
Beth Leavel is my hero and my favorite Broadway scene partner in the 5 minutes that I was actually on Broadway.
David, you remember that night?
Second to my wedding, one of the best nights of my life.
That's awesome. It was really good for us.
Yeah.
And then you had a party afterwards to celebrate your Broadway debut.
I know, it was a nice little, that was a long day. There was an award show that day. So I made my Broadway debut, for the people watching at home, I made my Broadway debut playing myself in the Prom last May. Technically I played Olivia Keating, which is the reporter that comes on at the beginning of the show.
Did you say your name? You didn't say I'm.
No, I didn't say, no, I said my own name. That was the gimmick. I said my own name and TheaterMania.
Do you remember your lines?
I do remember. Can you do it with me?
Yes.
Do you remember your lines?
We'll see.
Yeah, let's see. It's David Gordon from TheaterMania here at the opening night of Eleanor, the Eleanor Roosevelt musical, starring the incomparable Dee Dee Allen. Then you come out, everybody applauds. Dee Dee, you're a Broadway star.
Yes, I am.
You have your choice of roles. What drew you to Eleanor?
Eleanor Roosevelt, that's all I remember. Eleanor was a powerful, brave, charismatic woman that no one had ever heard of. That's all I remember.
Yeah, and then you sing a bit.
And then I sing the rest of the show.
It's funny. It took me so long to learn it, and now it's never going to go away. It's like I still remember the first line of my Haftorah at my bar mitzvah.
See?
Yeah.
What is it? I'm just curious.
I'm not doing that on camera.
Okay. You see, where's Prom? There it is, Prom poster.
Yeah, there, right. I see it.
Yay, right next to Drowsy.
Yeah, tell me about your wall of fame behind you.
Well, these posters, combination of my fiance Adam Heller and mine, they've been in a box or under the bed. Some of them weren't framed. And one of the positive things that's happened during the shelter in place is that we chose the ones that meant something to us and we put them on the wall. So there they are. And there's a picture. You probably can't see it. Wait a minute. There's a picture of Brooks and I and you and Elf and thing of Merrily We Roll Along. That was very personal to Adam. And the two, I don't know if you see the two, it's backwards. Over there are two of Greg Barnes' design sketches from the Drowsy Chaperone, which I thought were pieces of.
I'll take off our brand on top so people can see it if you want to lift it up.
You see, there's the two mint ones. That's my show-off costume and the finale costume. And you know, his renderings, his sketches are really like works of art. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
What's the what looks like the spinning wheel in the middle?
That's a game board, an antique game board that Adam found at something.
Oh, that's cool.
He just liked it. So it's up there. It's kind of a metaphor, you know, game, the twirl, see what happens. And then you have your show. Some really interesting connection there I quite can't figure out yet, but I'll be journaling it later. Dear Diary.
People watching at home, if you have questions for Beth, pop them in the comments. We'll get to it if Beth is open to it.
Of course.
Let
me check my calendar.
Yeah, right.
Oh, all righty.
Yeah, Monday at 2, I'm free.
Pretty much April.
Yeah, and May, and it looks like June through September at this point.
Yep, it's all right. One day.
What are you and Adam doing with your time? Like, are you watching stuff? Or are you?
Yes. No baking. Please, no baking, or we'd be competitive eating. We're cooking a lot, like trying to cook healthy meals. You know, we realize that when you get something taken away from you, like Seamless or going out, how much time we spend in going out or eating Seamless or whatever. And now we're cooking a lot. And I have never watched so many series on Netflix in my life. I try to do something. I try to walk every day safely, distancing, and just to, you know, kind of meditate as you walk, just to get out of the apartment so we can have 5 minutes away from each other. But, no, we're really lucky. We're really lucky.
Are you in the city?
We are. We're in Midtown.
Oh,
right in the midst of the epicenter of everything.
Yeah. What are you watching?
We just finished Unorthodox. We watched The Stranger. And then we watched things like catching up on all the things that we hadn't, like all of Homeland and all of Project Runway and all we haven't started Tiger King yet.
Tiger King is something.
So I hear. We haven't started that. There's a, you know, it's like each night we did start this game where we had a deck of cards
Uh-huh.
We shuffled the cards, and whoever drew the highest card got to pick the movie we would watch that night. Something that he probably wouldn't watch that I wanted him to watch, because I'm more of a sci-fi adventurer and he's more of like the classic movies. So the first, I drew the high card, so I'm making him watch, which he has never seen before, The Matrix.
I never took you for a sci-fi person.
I know, I am. And then he hasn't seen Star Wars, so that's next.
I'm working my way through all of Star Wars.
I figured now's a good time.
Yeah. So you have Disney Plus, I imagine?
I do not have Disney Plus.
Because it's all on Disney Plus.
It is?
Every Star Wars thing you can think of is on Disney Plus.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Appreciate
it. I want to pop this question in. One of the best belts in the business. How did you discover your singing voice? Did you sing as a child, and what do you do to keep your voice in shape?
It's a great question. No, I did not sing as a child at all. I was so late at everything, whatever late means. I didn't even know I could really sing. I kind of sang with my church choir, but not solo-y. I just never knew that existed until I had to sing my senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. Even then, I don't think I knew I could sing. You know, it's interesting because I think if you're a singer, you realize sometimes singing is so much about just the confidence, knowing you're a singer, and then you figure the rest of it out. And then I started, because I had an amazing teacher at my college, at Meredith College in Raleigh. She kept asking me to audition, and I just kept pushing and learning about my voice through being cast in shows. But I honestly didn't feel like I really discovered how to belt until somewhere in my mid-20s. Then you just figure it out.
Right.
And each show requires you to take care of your voice in a different way. For example, when I did Young Frankenstein, everything was such a low key. I didn't have to vocalize the same way I did for instance, Prom, which I just was, Belty McBelterton. Mm-hmm. And my voice it's going to be interesting to sing after not singing for however much time where you're not singing. Because it's kind of like a muscle, you exercise it, it knows what's required of it. But I know how to warm up. I know how to take care of my voice. And I love to belt.
Was there a particular show where you discovered that you could belt, or was it just?
There was a particular show I discovered I couldn't belt.
What show was that?
I was cast in the Raleigh Little Theater production of Showboat way back when. And I was Ellie, and life upon the wicked stage ain't never what a girl supposes. Stage door journeys. I could never cross over. And I'd be like, stage door journey. And I was like, wow, what's happening that I can't do this? And I just kept practicing. And I don't know how you figure that out. I guess you just, vocalize it. And like I said, all of a sudden because your body changes, everything changes. At 24, 25, I was like, stage door Johnny, and I could.
Your sound disappeared. Your sound just disappeared. Hang on.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
It disappeared because I belted it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I was cast in the role on Broadway in 19 whatever it was,
right,
I could belt that note.
What?
The computer probably literally just turned itself off. It's like, please stop yelling. Just stop yelling.
Amazing. That's the first time that's happened. That's hysterical.
Well, I'm glad. You're welcome.
What were some of the shows that you did in college?
My first show, the one that actually made me addicted to the theater, because it was already starting to be a curiosity. But, like I said, I only did one show in high school. But the show that made me addicted to musical theater was Applause. Because it was my sophomore year. It was the first show. I was like in the ensemble, and I.
Wait, which show was it? I'm sorry.
What, honey?
What show was it? I didn't hear.
Applause.
Oh, Applause. Right.
Is it deep? And the whole process, everything about it was, I thought, magical. And even though I was, third ensemble from the left, it was the time of my life. And then so I just I was, how do you say, bitten hard by
Yeah.
that bug. And then I just had to figure out what to do with that. What started as a curiosity and developed into a huge passion. So I auditioned for everything I could get my hand on. And there wasn't a theater major, so I have a major in social work counseling, which is come in real handy.
Yeah.
But I had a minor in theater, and I that's why I went to the community theater. I went to North Carolina State. I did everything I could get my hands on. And at the end, I was way too chicken to move to New York. So my teacher, Linda Bamford, suggested I go get an MFA. So I did. And in that 2 years, I was at University of North Carolina at Greensboro. It changed my life. That's all I did. Like swimming in that pool for 2 years around people that I was just sponging and learning. And then I had no other choice but to move to New York.
Was your family cool with it?
They would much rather me have been normal. Until I started to make money and they saw that I could actually earn a living, they were terrified. I mean, I visited New York twice before I moved here. Once was with my family when I was 13. It was the Lions Club International Convention. And I remember being horrified at the city. It was so overwhelming. And I had a choice that day at 13 to go to a Yankees game with my dad and his friend, or go with my mother and her friend to see Angela Lansbury and Mame. Well, the thing was, they were taking a subway out to Yankee Stadium. And I thought, I'm doing that. So I didn't even see Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury and Mame.
I wanted to go to a Yankees game. So, you know, my trajectory is really odd. But it is what it is. It is.
Yeah.
No regrets. No regrets.
Someone typed in a process question. What do you do? What exercises do you do to get such breath control and be able to hold crazy notes? Like, how do you get those notes? How do you develop that?
Yeah, I think it's a muscular thing, but I know now. I remember the last note in Ladies Improving in Prom. As the show continued, I remember filling up the diaphragm, and then I felt like lungs would and I could hold that note. And part of it's, adrenaline, the audience, particularly towards the end, they were just going, come on, Beth, just a little bit longer. And that adrenaline, I never passed out.
Right.
But it became kind of something I wanted to give back to the audience. And even Dee Dee would be doing it for, the principal as well. But, it got stronger and stronger the longer I did it. There was a note in Drowsy Chaperone at the end of Stumble. Apparently, I have a theme in my work, but they started timing it. They started doing it Prom. So then it became a little competitive with myself. It's like, what do you mean only 32 seconds? So the next day be like, I'm going to make 33 seconds if I don't care if I black out. But I never did.
Well,
I'm cast in parts that are asked to hold notes until you don't faint.
Looking forward to seeing how long Miranda Priestley has to hold a note for.
I can't wait. I don't think Miranda would be holding notes. I don't know. I could be wrong. She would be asking someone else to hold notes and then judge.
That's a good one. That's a really good joke. That's a really, really good joke. I remember that video from closing night of the Prom. I think Lisa Goldberg, your publicist.
Oh gosh.
Of just you holding that note and the ladies improving forever, and then just like 10 minutes of applause afterwards.
I just cried. It's so interesting when you have moments like that, when you are so connected with the piece and your cast and the audience. That day, that moment was like one of the top 4 moments in my life. It was so special and unbelievable, and I was so grateful. And to break the fourth wall and just say, just show your gratitude as Beth as well as Dee Dee. It was amazing.
You guys looked like you had a great time doing that show.
Yeah, we really did. We really did. Someone was asking me the other day, like, oh, what's your most embarrassing moments on stage? And, that would be a 4-hour conversation at least. But with this company in particular, it's one of the funniest groups of human beings ever. Yeah. So if there's an opportunity on stage that wouldn't ruin the show, that Brooks Ashmanskas or Chris Sieber or Angie Schwarr or I, there was one night where something happened. We were so exhausted from doing a commercial or a photo shoot that we'd been up since 6 a.m. and we were there all day, makeup and just doing something over and over and over. So we were exhausted. And when we got to the 8 o'clock show, it might even have been a 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of get loopy. Well, there's a scene at the top of Act 2 that the four of us come into Caitlin's bedroom, and something happened. I can't even tell you what it was, but it was a glitch of some sort in someone's line, and Brooks couldn't speak anymore. That happens, and Brooks just gets through it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any lines. I was at the door. But one of the things we could always depend on was no matter what happened, and usually the audience would never see this.
Right.
But we could always depend on Chris Sieber. Never, ever, ever breaking character, ever. Except that night. And then Chris tried to get his line out, and he started, and that was it for the five of us on stage. I literally put my head down and had tears dropping onto the set, and we had to stop. And the audience, fortunately, it didn't really mess up the plot too much, because
Right.
it was nothing really important was happening in that particular moment. The audience laughed so hard. And it was, again, such a shared experience. And I've never felt so unprofessional in my life. It was like laughing really hard at church, and you cannot stop. So the whole prom run was so full of that underlying joyous, we thought we loved each other so much and would laugh. And there was just so much joy that sometimes it just had to bubble up all over and drop to the tears on the deck.
You could really tell,
Yeah.
You can really tell when people really love doing a show.
Yeah.
I could tell just from the 5 minutes that I was allowed to be backstage the night that I played myself.
Yeah, it's like that every night. People go, what do you do to prepare? Each show is different, but prom, the entire company, if you remember, would meet upstage of the show curtain right before places, just to be with each other. The entire company. And we would just check in, play games, do silly things with Josh Lehman, do whatever we do just to get in the mode, just to get our energy up. So when that curtain rose, we were ready to deliver.
Someone asked, can you show us any costumes you were allowed to keep or fun things from fans? Are you allowed to keep your costumes in anything? You don't need to show them, but
no, sometimes like with a pair of shoes or something that they're not going to do anything with. They will say, here, you can keep your shoes. I did get I got something from prom just as a gift. They gave me a blue shirt that I wore because they didn't know what else to do with it. So I got like 2 things from prom. Will I ever wear them? No, but they're in my closet and I'm never letting them go. Ever. I got some costume jewelry from Drowsy Chaperone, which was very cool. That I actually wear that occasionally. My picture, when I had my portrait done for Sardi's, anyway, the earrings that are in the drawing are my Beatrice Stockwell earrings that they allowed me to keep. So it happened to be prom, and I'm wearing the Drowsy earrings. The
Drowsy Chaperone is in my top 5.
Me too.
And it always will be. And I just want to see all of you, R.I.P. Georgia Engel, but I just want to see all of you be able to do it again. Because I feel like you guys could all reconvene like tomorrow and do it again.
Pretty much. Do you know, this may be top secret, do you know that we're trying to convince Bob Martin to write Drowsy Chaperone 2?
Really?
Yes. And I think that's actually bubbling in the ether, because aren't you curious as to what happens?
Yeah.
To share next?
Yeah. You heard it here, folks. First, folks.
I can't wait. So
yeah.
We'll see. So if you see Bob Martin on the street after all this, just say, can't wait for Drowsy 2.
Yeah, I'll socially distance, yell at him.
Exactly.
Wear a mask.
Yes. But I think it's fascinating. See what's happened to everybody.
There are a couple of people here that want to know what your favorite shows are, what your favorite musicals, plays.
That I've done or that I've seen?
Just in general.
Say again?
Just in general.
Oh gosh, I have so many. one of the ones, those, it's like a litmus test to me if I'm in the theater and I'm watching something, particularly a musical, where I no longer am in my seat and I've kind of been transported to some other place. Those are the ones that really resonate with me. One of the first ones I remember that ever happening to was a chorus line.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when I was in my process of, I could never do that. How am I, but I really had this love. And I remember leaving the theater for a chorus line. I remember leaving the theater big time in Dreamgirls. Just gone. How amazing that was. I left the theater when I saw, what I mean when I left the theater.
Yeah.
Just Come From Away. Evan Hansen. I mean, there's just so many wonderful pieces out there that have just each one kind of imprinted in my little heart.
Yeah.
And, it's nice. One of the things about being sheltering is that sometimes you can revisit your cast recordings and just kind of relive those moments again with these fabulous shows that have made such a difference in our lives.
So you're listening to cast albums?
We're listening to ones. That's another thing. See, Adam has this whole thing. Like, I'd never heard Pacific Overtures. I'd never saw it. And it's one of those musicals that kind of changed his life. So we've been deconstructing that.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Speaking of today.
Sunday in the
Park. Oh, Sunday in the Park.
Anyway, I could talk forever about that.
I know. Did you see the video? I'm going to hide this question for a second. Did you see the video that Knopf, the publisher, posted yesterday of Stephen Sondheim reading the lyrics to the Sunday Act 1 finale?
No.
Go on their Instagram after this, because they posted the video. It's just him sitting in a chair with the script in front of him, and he's just reading Sunday as if it were a poem.
Okay.
90 of Stephen Sondheim reading Sunday as if it were a poem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. A tip for everybody watching at home.
Making it right now. Just a thought.
Yeah. All right. What is one role that you wish you could revisit on Broadway?
On Broadway, revisit, or let me just say this. 3 summers ago, I think it was, maybe 2, because I don't have time anymore. I did Mama Rose at the Muni in St. Louis. And I worked so hard on that, but I only had an opportunity to do it 10 times. So I would like to revisit Mama Rose now that I'm old enough to play. I played it in grad school, but I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
Now I kind of understand. Now I can comfortably be in those shoes, and I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that again. That's
a good one.
Yeah, I just like.
Yeah, no. I mean, how can you say no to Rose?
Hello, and then to do it, in front of 11,000 people at the Muni, it was pretty spectacular. Yeah, I'd like to do that again. Now that I know the lines are here, I can really come into it again.
Exactly. You played several different roles in 42nd Street, Anytime Annie in the original production, Dorothy, Maggie, Stand By, and did the roles in full in the revival. Are there any other shows that you played several different roles in? Several different shows that you played several different roles in over the years?
This is a question I had when I was at 54 Below, when I was doing my act. My act. About me. Does anyone know, has there been an actress, a female, that's been in an original company? So I was in the original company of 42nd Street, not the original. I was like the 4th replacement for Anytime Annie. In the original company, and gone on to do the older role in the same show in the revival.
I don't know.
Not an actor, because people are going, oh, John Rubinstein. It's like, right, that's true. But I don't know. So I forgot what the question was.
Judy Kuhn and Les Mis, the commenters are telling us. Judy Kuhn and Les Mis.
Okay, fine. So Judy and I need some tiara, or at least some kind of sash that's good for us.
I knew there would be
Have I done a role in like that, like a Dorothy in an Anytime Annie kind of thing? No, I don't think so. Not yet. Again, no, I haven't. Have I?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, thank you. You guys know better than I would. It's like, what did I do?
You could do Mrs.
You did that.
You could do Mrs. Tottendale in The Drowsy Chaperone too.
Absolutely. Even though I'd rather do Beatrice Stockwell, and I love Mrs. Tottendale, but my DNA is all over that woman.
I'm looking for the comment in here because someone said it was just a comment, but it was someone talking about how much. Oh, there it is. One of my all-time favorite shows is Baby It's You, and Baby It's You is staring at us right over your head.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
A lot of love.
A lot of, I'm sorry. And speaking of which, we listened to part of that CD the other day. Not all of a sudden, Adam has something on the dark side of the street. I'm like, what are you playing? So we went and listened to part of Baby It's You. But I get that comment a lot, and thank you. That was quite the ride. It was the first times I'd ever had my picture on a poster, but really had been responsible for a lot of driving a train in a show.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to do that one again, see if we can. The story was so great.
I'm surprised that one doesn't get much regional play.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I don't know anyone that's ever done it. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that question.
That was the first Broadway opening night that I ever took photos at, Baby It's You.
Really?
Yep. That was my very first Broadway opening night
That's so cool.
I know.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you and Adam meet doing Elf? Or
No.
had you known each other before?
Well, in this business, there's always 6 to 1 degrees of separation, usually, in New York particularly. He and I were cast in a musical that was supposed to come to Broadway called Dancing in the Dark. It was at the Old Globe. It was not too long after Drowsy at all. And that's where we met. And then that was 10 years ago. And it just morphed into we're getting married. We played husband and wife.
How do you maintain as two working actors a relationship like that?
It's actually pretty easy because we understand each other's schedule so much. It's like, okay, you have to go out of town for 3 months. Right. Okay, I'm not going to see you for 4 months. And we each know how to then take responsibility for the person left at the apartment, or how we just we speak the same vocabulary and just have a deeper understanding of the choices you have to make when you have 2 actors. It's great if we could both be like in Elf, or Adam was a standby at Baby It's You, to be in the same city at the same time is kind of cool. Like when I was doing Prom, he was doing Harvey Milk or Popcorn Falls. So we were the same place. It was kind of like, oh, goody.
Yeah. And then you could
come the same, time zone.
Yeah. And then you could come home and decompress and talk about your day. Do you talk about work at home?
Not a lot, just enough to go, how was the show? Right. What happened? But no, we've got a lot of family and friends, and Malcolm, the one-eyed wonder cat.
Someone asked how Malcolm was. Someone in the comments asked how Malcolm was doing.
Bless your heart. He's so good. We're thinking about making a Malcolm calendar because he is such a whippersnapper that he is so entertaining and a rascal. And we're just trying to figure out how to let him make money for us. He's hilarious. He's really funny. He just absolutely broke our favorite mug this morning.
Oh, sorry.
That you can't leave anything out because it's like, what's that? Break.
Our 2 cats are complete rapscallions. One ran through over my lap in the middle of this.
Oh, I'm surprised. We have to close the door, or he'd be here like. Actually, he
ours
chair.
They could be sound asleep, and yet the second we take something out of the fridge, they walk over to us and they're like, I heard a rumor there's food.
I think I should be involved in this activity. What's happening? Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Rescue Kitty, ACC.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, would you ever play Phyllis and/or Sally in Follies?
Yes.
1,000 times.
Yes, I really would. I saw a production that Adam was in at St. Louis Rep, and those are great female roles with, oh my gosh, those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Any chance of being able to reschedule your show at 54 Below?
Yes, we've already.
Darrell was looking at seeing it.
It's not definitive because things keep morphing, but yes, we are definitely rescheduling it. When the sun comes out, we will be singing at 54 Below.
Hopefully the sun.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully safely and soon.
Yeah, this is a question. Learning the hip hop. Can you talk about the fictional narratives you had to learn to do the hip hop moves in the prom, opening the shower door and all? I was in that show. I don't remember.
Yes, when we were at the Alliance doing the out of town Broadway tryout, which that finished, we still had a year and a half left before we went. The dancers were so extraordinary in the prom, the ensemble, the actors, that they learned this finale just like that, and then we call ourselves the olds, the older. Right. Rumor started swirling that Casey wanted us all to do the finale.
Oh, it's the finale.
The finale part, and we laughed heartily, thinking it could not be true, but yes, it was. So we would have private tutorials in this, I like to call it the timeout rehearsal room. We would go to a timeout rehearsal room, the olds, and Casey Hushin, Casey Nicholas, assistant director, and John McGinnis, his assistant choreographer, associate, would try to break it down for us. Now, they learned it in 45 minutes. We took 22 days. And so I consider myself not a dancer, but I consider myself a mover. I mean, I understand part of it. I could tap, but this was out of my wheelhouse. So the olds decided that the only way we could really learn it was to break it down, each gesture with some kind of verb or scene. So there's one thing we went dun dun, and we would be open the shower, step on in, pull your socks up, fix your hair. So each one, still to this day when I do it, it's like open the shower, step on in. I can never unremember the whack it. Not all of it was curse free, mind you. So we can never really say it all out loud, but it's that inner monologue that would. I don't think any of the olds ever stopped saying that in the back of their head every time we did that hip hop. And I was so funny because I could watch people in the audience by then because lights up, and I could see them like looking at me and the old people going, "Are you gonna do this? Oh, you okay? Look, Beth did it. She did. Yes, old woman. Yes, do." Be like that, right? Open in the shower, get of me.
I have two more questions for you, and then I will let you go. What do you know about The Devil Wears Prada, the musical? Like, have you heard it? Have you seen the script?
We did a Zoom reading of it, and I got to tell you, it's really good. I'm really excited about it. It seems like so far away, but now it's like, well, that's probably a good thing. So. Correct. We'll just see what happens with it. But I'm really, really, really excited to make Miranda Priestley sing.
Wait, was Elton John there just like sitting in a Zoom?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That's my question.
I wouldn't remember a thing. It said, hey Elton, I'm just wondering if it could be a C, not a B. Anyway, no, he wasn't there. He was on tour at the time.
Right.
So he was not there. It was just like to hear this. And it's so weird, this Brady Bunch Zooming.
I know.
We hadn't even really met each other. I didn't know a lot of the people, and just meet them like the Brady Bunch square. Right. It was fascinating. This new norm that we're in today.
Yeah. Shana Taub's a genius, though. I can't wait to hear
my gosh. And the director's a genius. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be
Who's
spectacular.
Is it Diane?
No, Anna Shapiro, who was
Anna Shapiro, right.
Who directed a little play called August Osage County, and so she's just amazing, and I can't wait to see how her DNA lives all over the show. Yeah.
So now to conclude, when I was doing the prom, the night that I did the prom, we did a little thing for a camera for our cameras.
Uh-huh.
Where I went up to you, you gave me advice on like not being afraid and just living in the moment. And I just want to ask you if you could just reiterate some of that to the people watching. Like, what do you do when you feel like, do you always feel afraid night after night? And what do you do to quash that? Because what you said to me was so helpful.
Oh, I don't remember what I said, but no, I never want to use the word fear because it takes away the joy that I feel in what I do. Are there nights when I am nervous? Absolutely. But there's I think a fine line between nerves and excitement. And whatever you have to do to switch that dial up a little bit to make it, I think nerves kind of give me fuel.
Yeah.
I don't want it, again, to take away from my task, my job, and my joy in my job. So did I teach you the breathing thing? Did we do that?
You didn't teach me the breathing thing, but that was almost like word for word what you told me, and it was extremely helpful. But what's the breathing thing?
There's a friend of mine, Trip Hansen, told me this. I'm sure it's called rectangular breathing in his vocabulary. I'm sure there's a million other things, but if you ever get really, really nervous, and I would do this with the other people that were doing Olivia Keaton. It's like, why don't we just breathe? And you just do this, make a rectangle with your finger and you breathe in and you just hold it and you release. Breathe in, hold it. This takes a lot more longer. Then you breathe, and it does this thing. It just kind of lowers your blood pressure and makes you, kind of focus in on your work and not all the extraneous stuff that's getting in your way. It's like the little voices in your head and your heart's going too fast. Just try the rectangular breathing. Center it out. Go have a good time.
I think that's very helpful for now too, for everything that's going on in the world now.
Breathe deeply.
Yeah. Beth Leavel, thank you for your time. As always, thank you for your time.
Can't wait for you to be back on stage with me.
Everybody watching at home will be back, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow at 2 o'clock with Mr. Derek Klena. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.